It is getting pretty damn old watching Joe Burrow have to do everything just for the Bengals to let him down. And their latest loss to the Eagles is no different than any of the other losses that they've suffered this year. But Sunday's collapse came down to a seminal moment. And in this video, I'll explain why it doesn't bode well at all for anyone making decisions at Paycor Stadium. Hi again, Bengals fans. John Sheeran of A to Z Sports Cincinnati, and the Bengals are now 3-5 on the year after losing 37-17 to the Philadelphia Eagles. It was tied at 10 at the half, and the Eagles outscored the Bengals 27-7 in the second half alone. Numerous things contributed to this loss. Evan McPherson lost his ability to kick field goals beyond 50 yards. The defense had absolutely zero pass rush against a depleted Eagles offensive line. And despite all of this, Joe Burrow was doing everything in his power to keep the Bengals in this game. On his 11 dropbacks on third down, he converted 9 of them, and most of them were third and long situations. But everyone who watched this game, you who watched this game, you know exactly where it turned bad for the Bengals. When facing a 3rd and 1 at their own 39-yard line, knowing that if they don't convert this, the Eagles are probably going to score and make it a 2-score game, the Bengals decide to run against the defensive front that they've had no success running on all day, and then on the play afterwards, they decide to make Joe Burrow pass it immediately behind the line of scrimmage. Like the 3rd and 1 run, I get it. Like you expect to get 3 feet in that scenario, even if you hadn't had any success running the football. But the play afterwards, where Burrow is immediately throwing to Jamar Chase, again, behind the line of scrimmage, instead of having him process the field and try to make the Eagles pay, the Bengals let the Eagles off the hook with that. Because again, think about how Burrow and the offense have been moving the ball and making plays in this one. It's all been Burrow. It's his post-snap wizardry. It's his ability to extend plays, make plays with his legs, find guys down the field. That's what had been working. So when the Eagles got a chance to just immediately diagnose where Burrow was going with the football and then have 2 unblocked defenders just tackle Jamar Chase behind the line of scrimmage, the Bengals let the Eagles off the hook. More specifically, Zach Taylor in the play-calling brain trust let the Eagles off the hook. Like, this isn't the same exact scenario as running for 3 straight plays against the Ravens and settling for a long field goal in overtime, but it's not that much different. The Bengals seem to be the only team in the league that make the easiest plays look the hardest. And somehow there's more comfort in the quarterback making the right decision after the snap than there is in the head coach making the decision before the snap. You want Burrow to have options after the snap, no matter how many yards he has to go. If you're putting the ball in his hands, don't make him throw immediately, and don't make him throw behind the line of scrimmage. Instead of putting the stress on the defense to try to react after the play, when it could have been anything in that situation on 4th and 1, all the stress went on Burrow, and especially Jamar Chase trying to make that play where he's got to go 4 yards just to gain 1. Now, I've never been one to completely chastise Zach Taylor's play calling, but it's just become so apparent that in the most critical situations, the thought process is just not there. And just the sheer inability to recognize what your quarterback does best and what has been working against that defense, it's just time and time again showing itself. Like, even if the Bengals defense was competent and kept them in the game despite that failure, I just don't think that there's any trust left in this coaching staff making the right decisions in the most important moments of the game. And if that's no longer there, maybe it never really even was, then this partnership between Burrow and Taylor, it's not going to last much longer than this. Time and time again, Joe Burrow has proven that he can do magical things for this Bengals team, and time again, he is held back by the decisions of his coaching staff. And as the losses continue to stack up this season, that's going to be harder and harder for the front office to ignore.